32 years ago, we left the much beloved original Star Wars characters behind. With the Empire defeated and balance restored in the Force, all that remained was a weird stormtrooper eating picnic and Billy D. Williams as Lando just clapping away. Clapping away. Clapping away. That clap proved a little premature with Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm in 2012. Because Star Wars is back in a big way, making Lando look like a right idiot. And no, not another prequel, though we are technically getting one of those. A brand new sequel trilogy starting with 2015's The Force Awakens. All your favourites have returned, without a Dexter Jetster in sight, bolstered by a fresh new cast. The story goes that the Resistance must take on the might of the First Order, a rebranded empire that pose an even greater threat to the galaxy than before. This was promised to be the Star Wars we've all been waiting for. And forget your sequel books, Disney said. Books are for nerds. This follow-up has actual real-life Harrison Ford, and they didn't even have to CGI any enthusiasm into him. But the question is it any good? Yeah. It's pretty good. And a big part of that is how well the new and old cast mesh together. The three young leads are terrific, with Daisy Ridley and John Boyega given the most to do, really breathing life back into this universe. The interplay between the two of them and Han Solo is really a joy to watch, with Harrison Ford giving it his all. The villains, as headed up by Kylo Ren and Hux, are also great as looming threats. In particular, Ren, for reasons I won't elaborate on. The world as well, it feels very Star Wars in a way that the prequels didn't. CGI only seems to be used for shots where it's entirely necessary, otherwise it acts to bolster real sets, real locations, and animatronics. There's also never a dull moment here. It jumps from set piece to set piece at breakneck speed, with no one stopping to explain how the Force works or to discuss the intricacies of intergalactic politics. There's actually a very definitive moment, and you'll know it when you see it, where the audience is pretty much turned to and told, look, we're not doing any of that, not ever. On the flip side of all this, the breakneck speed does work against the film at times. Certain moments or scenes perhaps could have had more time to breathe. So what I'm saying is, no, this isn't a perfect movie. And if you go in thinking that, you're probably going to be disappointed. Some of the issues I personally had, for one, I found it a little too jokey at times, which I know a lot of people won't have a problem with, but for me, those jokes didn't always land. Also, the use of the Force here, I'm not sure what's going on, it's just all over the shop. Everything we've learnt in the previous 6 films has been turned on its head. Some of it seems a little too convenient. And look, I couldn't help but notice that a lot of moments and key set pieces are very derivative of the other movies. In particular, the first. That doesn't really drag the film down. There's just a lot of, oh hey, there's a bit like the bit in that other one. But look, I need to be clear here. The Force Awakens does a hell of a lot more right than it does wrong, and tells a tight, self-contained story, which you'll certainly get a lot more out of if you're familiar with the originals, and there is a lot of room left for what's next. So yeah, The Force Awakens gets a best movie ever. Is it better than the prequels? Yes. Is it better than the originals? It's far too early to say. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. Like a real bloody clapping Lando. Look at this idiot. Thanks everyone. Now if you want, feel free to check out either of these videos. I'd highly recommend the one on the left if you're a Star Wars fan, because it's really something. I'll leave it at that. Also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet, where this Monday we're talking all things The Force Awakens. That'll be linked below. But what did you think of Episode 7? Was it everything you wanted and more? Or did it leave you disappointed? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so if you do have any, please feel free to leave them below in the comments. And if you could not spoil it for other people, that'd be great. And if you're worried about spoilers, yeah, probably stay out of the comments. Alright, that'll do it. Thanks everyone. Take care.